Good morning, YouTube. This is me, all the way George Pitch, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, we have a show coming up tomorrow, and it is in the UK. It is the Europa Championship or Europa Pro. As you know, this show was originally in Spain. It was promoted by another company, but then they switched hands. Now it's under the Two Bros Pros promotions. And this is going to be the first show, I would say the first show in years that's done, a pro level show in the UK. Olympic qualification show. I don't think there's ever been one that I can remember. Maybe back in the early days, but times have changed. Everybody moved. I think there was like there's some shows, but this is I would say honestly the first show they're gonna have women's bodybuilding. There was the Honor UK, but I think they kind of pushed that show out now because there was issues with them. It was a while back they wasn't gonna have almost was gonna have Honor UK, but this is gonna be I would say honestly the first show for women's bodybuilding in the UK. I mean, I'm surprised more competitors didn't jump on this show, especially in the UK. Now, some ladies I think, I should mention that should be on this show, but it's just, some people want to take their time, some people want to do a later show, whatever. But anyway, the list came out, Monday, and I know, I usually do these videos maybe a couple of days before the show, but as you know, guys, if you follow me, I've been busy. I had at least a lot. This is my first day without an interview since Monday. And I had back-to-back interviews, on was it Tuesday, and then Wednesday I had my last, and last night was my last interview. I've been busy, so I was trying to jump on and work on this, but I'm busy, guys. So anyway, the list is we have 9 ladies here. And some ladies we saw compete, about a week or so ago. Other ladies we haven't seen in a while, and some are I think one is, and a couple are making their debut. One is making their pro debut, and one is making her bodybuilding debut. And some of these ladies you recognize, and some women you follow. First off, we have here is the lovely Miss Irene Anderson. As you know, Irene has been competing for quite a long time. She's been a twice Olympic competitor. She has done well in her career. As you know, the documentary, Too Big for This World, where it really give attention to women's bodybuilding. Irene, can you believe it, is in her 60s. Can you believe it? This woman is just amazing. I got the pleasure of meeting her a couple of years ago around Savannah. It's going to be, wow, it's been 2 years ago, this last week when I went to Savannah Pro. Wow, time really flies. But, I got the pleasure of meeting her. So, she took, I think, 6th place at the Alina Classic, and she got a couple $100 out of it, I think she has a good physique. She looked like, from this show, she really has made improvements when she last competed, and that was at the Rising Phoenix. Next up we have is Chris Coy. Now, Chris, as you remember, she jumped on to the Rising Phoenix, not the Rising Phoenix, I mean the Alina Classic last week. And then she did last couple of shows where I believe she did Tampa and also did Chicago. Good, amazing physique, good aesthetics. At one point she was physique, but she switched over to women's bodybuilding. She looked all right at the Alina show, but, it's been a week since that show. Can she make improvements and do better? Next up we have a lady I also had a pleasure of meeting a couple years ago, and that is the lovely Mrs. Roshana Boswell. As you know, Roshana is the first Women's Masters Olympia champion. She competed at the Alina Classic last week, and about a couple weeks ago, she competed at the Rising Phoenix. I'm a fan of Roshana. She did second at this show, so this possibly she could possibly do well this show if she can bring in condition and development. I think at least enough time to her to grow a little bit, come a little tighter. I mean, she's come from already from the States. It's a lot tougher for these competitors who come from another country to do a show. Next up we have is a lady who's already qualified for the Olympia. And this is where I have an issue with this. If you already get your qualification, why do this show? She already did 2 shows earlier. She, Nadia Capasoto, she did both Toronto, where she got 3rd. Then she got her qualification in Imperial in Spain. And now she's jumping on this show. I understand you need more bodies, but the fact is, she already got a qualification. And if she wins this show, that means it cuts the number down to, like say, around 15 ladies. As you know, there's another show coming up, and I'll talk about that in my next live stream. She has a present physique. And, she took a step back. She did some amazing things in 2021 when she won back-to-back qualifications, winning in Puerto Rico and then she turned around and won it at the Romanian Muscle Fest. She dropped out because of medical issues. She last competed at the 2022 when she competed at the Rising Phoenix, and then she missed. She decided not to do the Olympia that year, so she came back, and like I said, she took third at Toronto, won her qualification Imperial, and now she's doing this show. And like I said, I have a respect for her. I'm a fan, but still, it's just taking a spot if she wins. Next up we have is a lady I had a pleasure to interview is Ivana Dondorkova. If I got her name wrong, I'm sorry, Ivana. And she competed at the Lena Classic. She last competed at the Romanian Muscle Fest, and she really has made some improvements. She looked really good. She got fifth at this show. It was fifth. No, I think it was fourth. It was fourth. She looked really good. She really, her conditioning size has gone a lot better. I think she just needs a little more size in the legs. Still like a lot of good women who switch from physique to women's bodybuilding. That's always going to be the issue. Like look at somebody like Sherry Priami and a couple other ladies who have switched. I think she has good definition, good lines. I think she might do well. I could see her maybe at the top 5 at the show. Next up we have is Martina Lopez. And I feel, honestly, if anybody who wins the show is either Shauna or her, I think she has a great physique. She turned pro at 2023, the 2023 Amateur Olympias. This is going to be her, I think, her 4th show since turning pro. She did the Triple O Dynasty. She did Imperial, which she took second to Nadia. She did the Alina Classic, which she took third, and now this show. And I hope maybe there's enough time for the brain condition. She does need, like I said, I think maybe if she takes some more time, she might try to do Romanian Muscle Fest. And that's at least about almost a month or so away. That's about 2 months away. So maybe if she doesn't get her qualification at this show, maybe try to get a qualification for next year Olympia. But she's impressive. She has good definition, good lines. I like her physique. Just like I said, her condition needs to come in tighter. She's like on the shorter side, like someone like Michaela Aycock or Anastasia Nova, who I thought was going to do the show, but it seemed like she didn't. So I hope she does well. Next up we have is Joanna Romano. And last year she competed at the Masters Olympia in women's physique. Now she's switching over to women's bodybuilding. Now she's been competing for quite a long time. She couldn't compete for a good few years, and she may return when she got invited to the Masters Olympia. Impressive lady, impressive physique. I think it's a good move, especially when you're getting older. It's hard to maintain that tight, more conditioned look as a physique competitor. Where with women's bodybuilding, when you get a little older, you get more size, get more grainier. I think it's a better move for her. Like I said, she's a possible top 5 contender here. Next up is a lady who I have the pleasure of interviewing. That is a woman's Issa Seiler. She lives in Denmark, but she's originally from Brazil. She got a pro card because remember she was at a show, her and Amy Mendez. They were at a show, was a pro qualifier. They won in their class, but didn't get a pro card because enough competitors. So she did like some million women overseas. She petitioned for her pro card. She got it. Now, she was in the list for the Masters Olympia, but said she dropped out of that show. And I think she should have did it, because she lives in Denmark with her husband. She should have did the Alina Classics, test that show out, see how she looks. Now she's doing a show in UK, so I wish her best of luck. She might even try to do the Romania Muscle Fest, because I think Denmark's a little closer to Romania for her. And next up we have is Dr. Jenny Welker. As you know, Dr. Welker has been competing for quite some time. She was a physique competitor, made the switch to women's bodybuilding back in 2021. Did pretty good. I think she was top 5 at the, she was in top 5 at the Atlanta Pro, which was Savannah Pro in 2021. I believe that was her debut. She last competed in New York Pro, and this is pretty much almost a whole 2 or 3 months since that show, and she's doing this show. I'm surprised. She lives in California. I would think she would try to jump on the Titan Grand Prix. As you know, I just heard this information. The Titan Grand Prix is for this year's Olympic qualification. I thought it was going to be for next year, but somebody said they extended the time, especially since it's just fitness and women's bodybuilding are the 2 women's divisions at that show. Jenny is very impressive. She looked pretty good in New York. I think she cracked the top 5 at that show. I think she was 4th, I believe. But I think there's only 6 or 7 competitors at that show, but that's why she got 4th. But Jenny, she looks impressive. Sometimes I even look at her. I remember when I saw a picture with her and Lena Pope. She kind of looks like Lena Pope a bit. Great physique, definition. If she comes in conditioning, I think she can do pretty well. So, I don't think she's going to get Olympic qualification in this show, but I think she'll do pretty well. And one person I was thinking should do the show, but she's not, is Hunter Henderson. Now, I saw Prepper getting ready, as I heard that the Titan Grand Prix is Olympic qualification for this year. So she's focused on this show. So it's a smart move. I mean, you got to go to another country. You know how your body gets affected, plane flight, jet lag. I miss a lot. Can happen when you travel from. You got to go several hours away from one country to another. So so I thought she might do the show, but now I know she's focused on the show that again get her a little qualification for this year. One person who I'm surprised who has not done another show is um, Mela Ash. As you know, she dropped out of the Rising Phoenix last month, and then she placed in top three, top five at a couple of shows, Chicago and Tampa. I'm a fan of Mela Ash. I think she's a beautiful physique, great look. Like I often say, like she reminds me of one of my favorite female bodybuilders. That is Vicky Gates. Just around about the definition. I think things that she, a while back she had gotten in a car accident. I don't know if she's fully recovered. Maybe she's making that time off. I truly say she should have just skipped this year. I would have been best for her to skip this whole year and just worked on bring back condition she had when she won her Olympic qualification back in 2020 for women's bodybuilding in the Europa Pro. We talked about me, my man Keith. He knows Ash Mela pretty well. I hope she's doing all right. Maybe we might see her maybe taking that time off. She might do the Grand Prix. That's just a week away. So she might try to jump on that show. Maybe try to get Olympic qualification. She could do it. We never know. We just wait and see. Now, as I said earlier, there were some women I want to say that not doing the show for one person I should have put on the list is Lisa Cross. I mean, this is going to be shown in the UK. First women's bodybuilding show in the UK in years. And I'm surprised Lisa Cross didn't jump on this. But, she might be planning on something else. Now, we have here the list for women's physique. And this is a stacked list. There are probably more women in physique than in bikini and figure and wellness. Because you know what? This is the last qualification for this year's Olympia. The last. So that means these ladies have to, jump on here. You got to, how they always say, you got to fit in to get in. And, this is a stacked list. You have here, like I said, at least 20 women. Some ladies who have competed before, some women who are making their debut, both as fit competitors and also as pros. Physique and pros, But this is a stacked list. First off, we have here one Miss Nikki Beatty, and this is going to be her pro debut. I've been in contact with her, so I'm hoping to have her on an interview right after her show. Maybe, next week, and we'll talk about her experience. Next up, we have here one Miss, Christina Chatty, and she just did the Masters World Championships. That was about a week or so ago. She also did the Max Fit show. She's competing Master shows now. She's competing Open. Next up, we have here one Miss Vanessa Bartniti. She's from Italy. I think this is going to be also a pro debut. We have is Sylvia Trio from Spain. Sylvia, impressive physique. She last competed at the Portugal Pro. She made a pro debut at the Romania Most of us just day after she got her pro card at that show. Impressive physique. Good. Look at the quads. I don't know. This is a lady that might have potential for women's bodybuilding. Her legs are a lot bigger than the average physique competitors. So, maybe, I don't know. I know ladies will say that, use the excuse that I don't want to go women's bodybuilding. But like I said, if you're like, you have legs like that, I think physique is no longer the vision for you. Next, there was a lady who's making her physique debut. Now, I saw the plan was that, where I heard that she was going to make her debut at the Daytona Pro. And, she decided to switch and do this show. And that is Manon the Lady. I want to mispronounce the name. And Manon is very impressive. I keep saying this chick looked so much like she belongs to physique. Now, she got a qualification at Vancouver. And she did 2 more shows after that. Actually 3 more shows. She did Tampa, where she got 6. She took second at the Arizona Pro. She was really close with Jessica Diaz-Reyes, and then she took third at a show that was like a week ago, the Florida Pro. And to me, yeah, I think she might do good. Maybe she might take a year off. And his thing is, if she does get a qualification, will she compete as a figure competitor at the Olympia, or she compete as a physique competitor? That's the debate. If she does get a qualification. But like I said, there's some couple ladies out here that might give her a run for her money. Next up, we have here is one Miss Lucy Favorel. I think this is also she is also another figure competitor switching from physique. Another switches of physique. Not much to know about her. She don't have an IG or anything, but I know she's from France. So she's one of three French competitors. And he kept me known she speaks French Canadian, so that's my way to say four. Next up, we have is one Miss Sylvia Brangono. I'm going to say, I'm sorry, Miss Sylviana. She's from the UK, and she hadn't competed quite some time. I think she last competed at the Remaining Muscle Fest. Next up, we have is one Miss Miana Konopolo. I want to say, I'm going to apologize. She's from Cyprus, which is an independent island from Greece. I'm in contact with her. Hope maybe I get a chance to interview her. She last competed a couple of shows, and and she looked pretty good. I mean, I just saw a picture of her where I'm debating where I think she could be more figured. She has physique. She's kind of tall. Her legs are really long. I mean, you really look at her. She's more of the ideal of what figure is, and she has physique. Next up, we have is one Miss Elena Kavan. She's from Greece. So, and she competed as a bodybuilder for quite some time, made switch away to physique, and I think she hadn't competed in the last few years. Next up, we have is Yoon Kim, and she been kind of quiet. I think she did. The only show she did, I believe, was New York. I think she did one more show. I like her physique. I'm a fan of hers, and this is another lady I think that might have more potential for women's bodybuilding than she has for physique. Next up, we have Christina. Krishna, I'm going to apologize. She's from Austria, and she last competed at Chicago Pro. Next up we have is Gemma Lancaster, and this is where I'm scratching my head. Last year, Gemma competed in women's bodybuilding at the Remaining Muscle Fest, and now she's back in physique. And I've seen pictures of this chick. I don't think she belongs in physique. I think maybe it's a mistake on the whoever put the her on the list, or I don't know. I know it's tell you the truth, it's not a good idea to jump back to the division where you might not do as well in. I think she probably would do better in women's bodybuilding, even though you only have 9 ladies up against. There's a good chance she might crack the top 5 or top 3. But like I said, that's her choice. So I'm not a coach or anything. I'm just a guy who just follows his stuff and just have my opinion. Next we have Sophie Leo. Now, Miss Leo was supposed to compete at the Imperial, but she got into an accident, so she had to drop out. And this will be her first show for the season. She might try to do, as you know, there's still the Remaining Muscle Fest coming up, and also some other shows for next year's qualification. She's been to Olympia before. She's one year. Remember, it was like in 2022. There's 3 French competitors: her, Barbara Majan, and Anne-Marie Moon. And they're talking about is Barbara Majan here. As you know, I had the pleasure to interview Miss Majan. And she took a step back last year. She's been top 4 competitor for the past 3 years at the Olympia, 2020, 21, 2022. And she took 2023 off to make some adjustments. She took second to Carla Alvarez at the Portugal Pro, but I think, part of me saying I think she can win this show. I think the only person that can give her a fight is maybe Bob Majan or Sophie Leo, or maybe I would say Manon might be a threat. I think she's a possible. Next up, we have a woman, Sana Nupan, who also last competed at the Portugal Pro. We have here is Carol Pierce, and she is a UK competitor. She last competed, I think, at the Arnold UK show, and that's been about a couple of years. Next up, we have is Sandra Perez. I'm not going to say her last name because I don't want to mess it up. Perez is a lot easier for me to say, and I think this is her pro debut. Next up, we have it is Nadine Phoenix. She's also a UK competitor. She's originally from Jamaica, and this is also going to be her pro debut. She has a impressive physique. I've seen a video of her with her and Andrea talking in the show a while back. Next up, we have is Dr. Natalia Sparrings, and Dr. Sparrings is already qualified for the Masters Olympia, which can probably get a qualification for the main Olympia. She did a couple of shows here, a few shows in the States. She did Tupelo. She did she did Arizona Pro, and she did the Masters, World Championships. Impressive lady. I've been in contact with her. Hope I'm going to get back again when we try to get her on for an interview. And next we have Hung Yan. If I got a name wrong, I apologize. Hung is making her pro debut. She's reached from China. And I'm saying, tell you the truth, there are a growing number of Asian competitors from China to South Korea to, the Philippines and getting into bodybuilding, and she's competing in physique. She looked like she was, from the tell by the feet, she was figure, but she has those aesthetics for women's physique. Her quads a lot larger. She's more detailed in size of the upper body. She has a good taper, so she might do well this show. She has a great look to her. I think she might do well. One person who I've not seen do this show, because I thought she might try this show, is Alina Alvarez. I heard because she wasn't too happy how she placed at both Tampa at Tupelo too. Also, I know from some information that she lives here in the States now. She was originally from Spain, but she lives in the States now. So she might be focused on maybe Daytona or Atlantic Coast. You know, she competed Atlantic Coast, and I think she was the top 5 at that show. And she's been to Olympia before. So I thought she might try to do this show, but I guess she felt like she wanted to need more time. President Zeke, I've seen some stuff, and she likes it. I know she doesn't speak English that well, so maybe in the future, if I reach out to her, I might get somebody who can do a translate. I know a couple people like Gabby Vega, also my dear friend Eunice. They speak Spanish, so if I can get somebody who can help me out, or Monica, either one. I would like to do the interview with her in the future, get a translator. But like I said, she's going to be focusing probably on something like a Daytona. One person will get a shout out here too before I end this. That is my dear friend, Miss Jada Beverly. Just been in contact with her. She sent me a message. She's already over there, and I hope she's doing well. Some things are going on, but it's like going to another country is always be difficult. She did a show a few weeks ago where she made her Olympia, her wellness debut. Didn't do as well as she wanted to, and there were some issues. But like I said, I'm a fan of Jada. I think she's a great physique. She has great detail. Like I said, she still needs to work a few things. Like you said, she still has some aesthetics from women's bodybuilding physique that kind of affects her in wellness. Maybe the size things, especially her arms. Her have killer arms. But once she works on things, I think Jada would do better. I think next year she'll take a year off. She's going to try to squeeze in one more show, and then I think she's going to shut it down. But I think for Jada, I know you want to stay active, but I think take the year off, work on a few things. Like I said, I'm just being critiqued and be a friend. My opinion, whatever you want to do, you do what you want to do. But I'm just giving my opinion. But I wish she did well show. I think she told me she was the only one of 2 Americans to compete in wellness. And not that many other Americans, because I say this is a European show. Most Americans don't want to travel across the world. Now there is, as I said again, a live stream, and I'm going to leave it in the description box. You want to check it out. This says by the prejudging is going to be 5 o'clock. It's got men's bodybuilding, women's bodybuilding, fitness, mandatories, women's physique and fitness routines, and men's physique. Then you have women's bodybuilding, fitness, women's physique, men's physique, and men's bodybuilding. So wellness is probably going to be the next day. So it's also, as it says, it's also, I believe it's also a pro-am show, which is I think it's a pro qualifier, because I think the show used to be it was a pro qualifier. But this is going to be the last ditch Olympic qualification for women's physique, and women's bodybuilding has one more coming up next week. So I want you to check the show, give some, like I say, let's promote these shows, especially for women's bodybuilding. There's so few opportunities for qualification, but it's a good thing we have these shows like this show here in the UK, also the also the Grand Prix coming up next week, and also, I think a lot of competitors should jump on the show next year, especially those bodybuilders living overseas. It's getting, like I said, there's not that many shows. It's like at the most 4 or 5. And then the next one is the Remaining Muscle Fest, but that's for qualification for next year. So, I would say jump on it. I mean, I know it took your time, prep, everything like that, but always plan out ahead and be prepared. So check out the show. Like I said, it's gonna be different time zone from us in the States and them in the UK, because they're gonna be like 5 hours ahead of us. So, and I think they said the prejudging is gonna be 5 o'clock. That means it's gonna be 10 o'clock our time on the East. And then all the different time zones, it's always going to be an hour difference. So check it out. So this is me on Always Just Page, a.k.a. the Emperor of Feeling Body Talk. Bye. Don't like, subscribe. I'm out.